been a long time coming. I forget, there's so many names, you guys. I can't, people just keep getting murked. This is torture. We don't like enslaving people. I'm sure Selena will get out of this as she always does. Hello. Today's video is gonna be so exciting. If you're new here, my name's Lottie, and if you're a subscriber, welcome back to my channel. One of my goals for this year is to read the Throne of Glass series, so we're starting it. This vlog is gonna be part 1. We're gonna do full spoilers reading vlog for Throne of Glass. I feel like so many people have read it, and it's just fun to do a spoiler vlog, and I thought it would be fun to do that with Throne of Glass. This vlog is gonna cover The Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, and probably Crown of Midnight. I have so many expectations and hopes for this series, but also I'm kind of just keeping an open mind and I'm gonna let it be what it's gonna be. I am starting with The Assassin's Blade first. A lot of people say to read it third or even fourth, but I want to read it first. Well, also I couldn't really decide, but one of my best friends, Emily, really wants me to read it first, and I'm gonna trust her and listen to her. I also just feel like Throne of Glass feels really intimidating to me. I have wanted to read this series for over a year now, and I just keep putting it off, mostly because it's fun to have something to look forward to, but also because it is intimidating. Like, there is a lot of expectation that comes with this series. I have read all of the ACOTAR books, but I haven't read any of the Crescent City books. Throne of Glass is an 8-book fantasy series. The Assassin's Blade is a series of, I think, 5 novellas. And that's why I think this is a really nice place to start, because it's less overwhelming. Like, it's nice to just read a couple novellas to kind of get like introduced to the world and the world building. And I imagine there's some characters that we meet in this that we may meet later on too. And there's like implications with that. I think that's a lot of why people say to read it later, because it like spoils something. But I'm like, either way, if I read the other ones first, it spoils something for this, and it, like vice versa. I think that there's certain things that'll hit harder with reading it first, and there's certain things that would hit harder with reading it third. I'm gonna try to read at least one novella today so we can kind of get my first impressions. I also have a bit of editing I need to do today for YouTube stuff. I'm super pumped to just be starting this book and this series and to document it with you guys, and I'm just excited to dive in. I will say I did purchase the like 8-book ebook on my Kindle last fall, and then I never started it, but I did want to have the physical copies because I really have been enjoying reading physical books lately. So if you see me reading on my Kindle or the physical copy, I may be switching some back and forth. And then I also may, if I can listen on Spotify, listen to a couple chapters just to make sure that I know how to pronounce everyone's name correctly. I'm just excited to dive in. It's been a long time coming. I feel like we're gonna have fun. I went and picked out my bookmark that I got last year. It says gorgeous girls love to read fantasy books. I've heard that this whole series is more fantasy than romantasy, that there's not much romance until like the very last couple books. I am mentally prepped that we're not gonna get much romance, but I'm honestly totally fine with that. And then I also loaded onto my Kindle, and I'm gonna go put it on my bedside table so that it'll be ready for me when I go to bed tonight, my Throne of Glass pack of books. It was on sale at some point last year in the fall, so I ended up getting it. I queued up Assassin's Blade. The Assassin and the Pirate Lord is the first. It says it usually takes about 41 minutes to read. So we will sit here and read that together. Okay, I did not realize Selena is 16. Being a 16-year-old assassin, how did you get here, Queen? She's being summoned to a meeting with like all the other assassins, and it doesn't seem like there's many women there other than her. Anyways, I'm intrigued. I've already referenced the map once. So this is taking place in Rifthold, which is the capital. I swear every map looks like the Game of Thrones map to me. Maybe that's just because that's like the first map that I really like got into and learned. I haven't read Game of Thrones, but when I started watching the show in 2019, my brother pulled up the map and like made me learn it. And I swear every map just kind of looks like the Westeros map to me. And this one is different than that. It's just that you've got like the main vertical continent here, and then the capital is even in like a similar spot to the capital in Westeros, and you've got some different territories, it seems. Oh, I see Terrasen. I don't know if that's how you say that, but I've seen that. Like, I know that that's like a Throne of Glass thing. Interesting. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so Arabin really sent them to go see the Pirate Lord because he's doing some kind of trade to get some slaves, ? Our girl Selena is like, Arabin wants slaves? Like, that's giving me the ick. We don't like enslaving people. That's pretty cool of her. I feel like that's not a hot take. Okay, day 2, Assassin's Blade reading update. I literally, after all that hubbub, got to page 26 yesterday. So I read the first 3 chapters of the first short story. I don't have that much to say. 26 pages in. I started reading last night, and my plan was to read at least the first one, but then I took a break to eat some dinner, and then I just ended up editing videos for the rest of the night, and it's just about 3 o'clock. I've literally literally been working, editing all day, and I'm just feeling a little stir crazy. All this to say, I'm taking a quick break from editing. I'm gonna go for a walk and read more of the Assassin's Blade. I'm gonna take my Kindle with me. I love reading on my Kindle while I walk. Hi guys, I just got back home from my walk. It was so crowded outside because today is Labor Day, so everyone has the day off and everyone was outside walking. It was a successful walk though because I finished the first short story in the Assassin's Blade. I finished The Assassin and the Pirate Lord. Honestly, thank God Sam is alive. I have a feeling Sam might die by the end of this. Maybe that's what people were saying in terms of like, it'll spoil something. I'm trying to kind of suss out what I think is like the big thing that people think this spoils the others for without having read the others. Anyways, yeah, thank God Sam is alive. I was kind of holding my breath there for a second at the end of the pirate story. Also, the pirate dude, I feel like he's gonna come back around and be like an enemy. I feel like we should have just maybe killed him. I appreciate Selena's mercy and her attempts to coerce people to just bend their will to her agenda. It's very noble, but I am worried he's gonna come back around. One thing though that I will say about the like 8-book series on the Kindle, the X-ray feature on the Kindle, one of my favorite Kindle features, I must say. They really ate with that feature. But when you use the X-ray feature in this ebook, which has all 8 books in one, like I highlighted someone's name and it was like, you know, 900 mentions, you know, because it's all of the books. I have a feeling that's going to come in major handy when I get more into the series and I'm picking up books after taking a break for a book or two. I mean, honestly, my thoughts on the book so far, I feel like it does kind of read a little bit YA, but not in a bad way at all. I'm still just enjoying it. Selena really is that girl. She's sassy, she's smart, she's confident. Sam's like a fellow assassin and they kind of like hate each other, but also like love each other. I definitely am interested to keep reading, but I am going to get back to editing. Hi guys, it's been a couple days and I haven't made that much progress, honestly. I talked to you last on Monday and today is Wednesday. I finished the second novella in the Assassin's Blade, which was The Assassin and the Healer. My friend Emily was texting me about Assassin's Blade. It's just like, what do you think? Like, give me all your thoughts. I'm like, I don't have that many thoughts so far. I wish I had more thoughts, but like, I'm vibing. I have nothing bad to say. Selena is very headstrong. She's very girl boss. She's been missing Sam a lot. Like she missed him a lot in the second novella. And now I'm like halfway through the third one. So now I'm reading The Assassin and the Desert. With The Assassin and the Healer though, Miss Irene, loved her. Obsessed. I can't wait. I know we're gonna have to, like, I don't know anything, but like there's no way we don't run into Irene again, especially after Selena gave her the money and the brooch. You know she's gonna go like learn to be a healer and then come into the plot later. So I cannot wait to see my girl Irene again, and I hope that she ends up being like a solid friend and good character because she was a slay. And then now I've been reading The Assassin in the Desert. I only have like this much left to go in The Assassin in the Desert, so I may just sit here and finish that up and then I'll give you final thoughts on this one too. Enough yapping, let's just dive in. I need to take advantage of this time I have to read. I was literally sitting here on my iPad and I was like, enough iPadding. I really thought Selena was about to get her first kiss with Ilias, and then she like stepped back and she was like, I can't. And she said it hadn't been the mere impossibility of a relationship with Ilias that had made her pull away. No, it was the memory of Sam's face that had stopped her from kissing him. The fact that she was like thinking about Sam, like I forgot about Sam low key. I was like, oh my god, girl, kiss him. Oh my gosh. Why do I feel like Sam's gonna die? Like I really feel like Sam's gonna die. I just feel like I'm being set up to be heartbroken. It's like the midsummer ball where I am at now and it's Ansel's birthday. It was just really sweet though, because Selena was saying that she couldn't really imagine going back to Rifthold, I think. Hold on, let me check. Okay, yeah, Rifthold without Ansel. She was like, I've never really had girl besties. And she was like, I'm kind of obsessed with my new friend. I don't really want to go back home without her. And also I just learned that she bought her own apartment when she came back home from the Pirate Lord story. And she still owes a debt to Arabin, but she's like, I don't want to live under him. Like she's definitely ready to do something else when she gets back home. And I feel like that's gonna be super problematic and it's gonna lead to Sam dying. That's my prediction. I just finished the third story. So I finished The Assassin and the Desert. I'm just about halfway through Assassin's Blade overall. Ugh, I'm yawning, guys. I'm sleepy. Also, I want to put the lights on night mode, which It's just really vibey with the Kindle. Anyways, my thoughts on The Assassin in the Desert. I am really enjoying reading The Assassin's Blade. I also feel like this story, Selena kind of got called out for being a little bit privileged, a little bit selfish, a little bit spoiled. And I kind of liked that because she was kind of acknowledging like, I am a little bit spoiled. Honestly, I think this one may have been my favorite so far. I feel like Selena grew a lot and like learned a lot about herself. The vibe between Selena and what's her name? Ansel. I wish I had been recording. Literally my jaw dropped when Ansel was pulling all that BS at the end. I knew something was up with Ansel, like when she was the one going to do the trading or whatever and Selena couldn't come with her. I knew there was something fishy, but I kind of just like didn't think about it. I was like, we'll figure it out. I also really liked all the stuff that Selena learned from like the silent assassin. And then I loved kind of how it wrapped up and he like kind of gave her freedom. I also feel like the vibe between Selena and Ansel was very girl, so confusing. I feel like she's kind of a frenemy. I don't know. I kind of have the feeling that she's gonna come back and be like evil, or we're gonna like regret not killing her. But you can't really regret not killing her because part of the reason that the like silent assassin dude gave Selena such a high recommendation was because she didn't kill Ansel. And so I feel like you can't forget that in all of this. And like later on in the series, if Ansel like comes back to bite us, I'm gonna have to calm myself down because it was worth not killing her in the moment. I'm feeling concerned about her just being like out there. Let's move on to the next story, The Assassin in the Underworld. It's like the longest one, so I'm gonna try to read all of it tonight. We'll see how far I get. But in the meantime, if anyone's really good at fan art and wants to make a little animated edit of Selena and Ansel to either Girl So Confusing or What Is This Feeling, I would like to see it. Literally same spot, new night. Last night I got a good way through the fourth one, which was The Assassin in the Underworld, and then I finished that just at like random points throughout the day. So now I'm on the last one, The Assassin and the Empire, and I wanted to film my reaction. I like kind of didn't want to get my camera out. I'm not gonna lie. Don't listen to me today because I've like been in a whole mood today just because I didn't get enough sleep. So never trust yourself or make big life decisions when you didn't get 8 hours of sleep the night before. Anyway, all this to say, sometimes like reading vlogs feel a little bit like performing. Like, I don't know how to explain that. Okay, we're adjusting the camera so I can sit back and be comfy. Oh my gosh, look. No hands. Sorry, I'm delusional. Anyways, I still haven't finished The Assassin's Blade. It's a long book. It's actually not that long. 400 pages. Is that long? It feels long. Okay, let's talk about The Assassin and the Underworld real quick. I was like, is Selena gonna go to the Underworld? Like, you see that name for the novella, and I was like, is there like an underworld component to this magic system, you know? Like, thankfully, no. As we all know, it was like the sewers, I'm pretty sure is like what they were referring to when they said the underworld. I didn't like it as much as the first three. The Assassin and the Underworld, I don't know. I'm kind of bored just hanging out in Rifthold. I was having way more fun when Selena was like going on her little travels, and it was fun to like see Selena like out on her own. Also, Arabin just like sucks. Arabin is capitalist boy boss king. He's like, guys, we gotta keep the profits up. But yeah, I was not surprised in the slightest when Arabin had totally like swindled and screwed over our girl Selena. And then Sam professed his love. And Selena paid off Sam's debt too, and her own debt. Yeah, I feel like the time away from Sam almost made me miss him more. I feel like them being back together, I guess I see it. No, I like them. I'm just being cynical because I feel like I know he's gonna die, so I'm trying to like detach my emotions from him. If I've learned anything from The Assassin's Blade so far, it's like don't trust anything Sarah J. Maas says, because in The Assassin in the Underworld, Selena was like, yeah, I'm not going anywhere near the sewers and the drainage and all of that. And then lo and behold, she gets stuck in it. Like, it's just like always said or thought, like basically the exact opposite of something that's going to happen later on in the story. In The Assassin and the Empire, she was like, oh, Sam's kissing me because he's like, we have all the time in the world. We have all the time in the world. He keeps saying that. And I'm like, Sam, stop saying that. You're going to jinx it. So yeah, I'm feeling emotionally unsteady about what's going on with Sam. I'm telling you, I haven't seen any spoilers. I don't know anything. It's just like, he's not long for this world. Also, because I just feel like Selena's going to have to be a little cold-hearted going into Throne of Glass. There's no way that she's going into this whole 8-book series with a boo, you know? She's going to be on her revenge arc, I fear. So I started The Assassin and the Empire. Basically, Selena and Sam are trying to leave, but Arabin is making them pay like a ton of money. And they're like, ugh, we don't want to spend all our money on this. We want to be able to like have money when we get to our new place. So Sam has found some new job for them to do, which is Jane and Farron, whoever they are. My Kindle says I have an hour and 9 minutes left. I'm probably going to fall asleep in 20 minutes. I just wanted to come on and say hi. Oh, also, wait, let's talk about this. For the 5th and final novella, there was like an after chapter before the novella started, and then it was like 11 days earlier. And the after chapter, I'm pretty sure Selena was in like a slave truck. Does Selena end up a slave at the end? Like, Anyway, that did intrigue me. Oh, also have really liked how all 5 novellas kind of like build on each other. They really do like tell this like larger cohesive story. Those are my updates. I'm gonna keep reading tonight. Good morning, everyone. It's Friday. I can't believe it's taken me literally a whole week. Kind of crazy. This week has just been like a crazy work week. I have to go into the office this morning. Point is I'm still reading Assassin's Blade. When I got pretty close to finishing last night, I found my place on Spotify, so I'm just gonna listen to the end. I just thought I'd film me listening in case I have any crazy reactions. So let's listen and get ready for the office. Why are they going on this mission? I feel like, just leave and be poor. Like, as shady as Arabin can be, I 1000% believed him when he showed up at Selena's and was like, yo, I wouldn't touch this assignment with a 10-foot pole. And I don't know why you idiots are either. I'm aligned with Arabin on that. Sorry. Y'all are morons. For real. Just live there for a year or something and like, I don't know, work as merchants, work as a barkeep. I don't know. Just find some work, make up a little money, make some savings, and then dip. What was the rush? Like, why are we rushing to do this like reckless assignment just to leave? Also, did Selena ever say I love you back? Because I'm gonna be sick. Anyways, so now Sam, it's like noon the next day and Sam has not come home and Selena went back home and Arabin's there. So let's see what he has to say. Why did Selena need to see the body? I didn't need to hear this. Girl. Oh my god. The body still smelled like Sam. I'm gonna throw up. And the cheap soap she made him use. This is torture. Like, his eyes were gouged out. His fingers are broken. Hearing that his torturer took his time while Selena just paced around the apartment. Wow. Okay, the smoke, they were playing 4D chess with that. That was smart. And then they all have these masks. And then I really hope that everyone here knows what I'm talking about. Selena has now jumped in through the window because she's going to seek her revenge. Selena should have listened to Wesley. I always trusted him. The voices are good. She does like a voice for the crime lord. Ooh, you would have been delightful to break is crazy. I'm literally walking to my car, still listening while I'm waiting on the elevator. Yeah, I'm understanding how she ended up a slave now.
She would tuck Sam into her heart, a bright light for her to take out whenever things were darkest. My name is Selena Sardothian, she whispered, and I will not be afraid. Selena Sardothian lifted her chin and walked into the salt mines of Endovir. That was The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas.
Yeah, it was.
Read by Elizabeth Evans.
You ever just like finish a book on your way to work? Now I literally can't wait to start the next one. Okay, I'll see you guys soon and we'll start Throne of Glass. Hopefully, I don't know. I might take a break or I might just start it tomorrow. I can't decide. Okay, it's literally been 3 weeks somehow. I wanted to read just a couple books on my TBR in between Assassin's Blade and Throne of Glass, mostly because I didn't have time to sit down and film a reading vlog. Reading Throne of Glass, I had time to read it, but I was like, let me just read some other stuff that I'm not going to vlog and then we'll come back once I have time to sit down and film it. So that's why this got delayed. But anyways, you don't care. You just care that I'm starting Throne of Glass. I have read the first chapter, but that was like 3 weeks ago. So I think I'm just going to reread the first chapter. The main thing I know about Throne of Glass is that it does have trials, and I feel like a lot of people who read a lot of fantasy don't love this one. I feel like I know all these names. Like I know Dorian and Kale. Is it Kale? Who else? Rowan, Manon, I'm pretty sure. But I don't know who any of these people are. So I'm excited to hopefully meet some of them in this book because we didn't really meet too many people in Assassin's Blade that are like infamous characters from the series other than Selena. I know that there's like the 13, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, I don't know any spoilers, but I do know like names. I've been waiting all month to get back to Throne of Glass and be able to like sit down and film this with you guys. Let's do it. Let's jump in. Okay, we're putting a name to a title. Kale Westfall, Captain of the Royal Guard. Good to know. Okay, new character unlocked. We've got Dorian Haviliard. Is that how you say that? The Crown Prince. I thought Dorian was good. Do we hate the Haviliards? I feel like people are like, oh, I'm a Dorian girl, so I don't know. We're back with Selena's trademarked sassiness at this point. It's so impressive that you've been a slave in Indovir for a year and you still have even the energy to sass these people. I respect it. Also, the more I'm reading this, the more I just am like really glad I read Assassin's Blade first. I'm loving like knowing Selena. There's already like 3 people we're meeting, you know, between Dorian, Kaol, and Selena. And it's just nice to feel like I understand who Selena is so I can like better analyze Dorian and Kaol. It's a little less overwhelming, maybe. We're kind of setting up the point of the book so far. I'm excited about Kaol and Dorian and Selena and this whole dynamic between them. I'm just gonna keep reading. Selena interrogating Kaol on the way out of Indovir. I'm giggling. She's like, Lord Kaol Westfall, how the court ladies must fawn over you. She's talking to Kaol and she's like, you might ask me how I did it. He says, did what? Became so talented and famous so quickly? And then he goes, shall I gag you or are you capable of being silent without my assistance? I'm having the best time.
Same here, guys.
Anders is enjoying his book as well. Hot couples read. Okay, on to chapter 5. Hey guys, I just got back from work for the day and I took my makeup off and just got cozy. I haven't done too much more reading today, honestly. I got up to about chapter 10 last night and basically Selena is going to be the champion for the prince. The king is having a contest. I don't even know why. I think he's kind of sadistic. That's all I've really picked up on. Basically, he's doing this like challenge, these trials, these games to crown like his assassin. So the crown prince, Dorian went on this whole mission to go find Selena because he was like, she's obviously going to be my champion. So all of the like people in the king's court, I'm kind of calling them the shareholders, they all get to have like a champion. She's like, listen, I don't want to be the king's assassin for 4 years. He's evil and bad, but it's that or just die here. So she went to some meeting. That's where I'm at now. She's like at the meeting with the king and all the other assassins and he's like explaining the setup. So I think the first challenge will be soon. We haven't had any challenges or anything yet. So it's mostly just been still set up. Okay, it's been a couple days and I haven't updated you in a while. I guess I just really haven't had that many thoughts along the way. I did mean to come back and talk to you after we met Princess Nehemia. I have really liked her throughout the story. I can't decide if I like Dorian or Kaol more. I feel like they're similar and different. Now, basically what's going on, Selena is thinking that Princess Nehemia might be behind some of the murders of the other contestants. People just keep getting murked. Like, it's crazy. And the way that like no one is concerned is also kind of crazy. So we're trying to figure out like who's killing all of the contestants. I feel like this book is reading a little bit like YA. I definitely liked Assassin's Blade, I think a little bit more. It's kind of been like slice of life in the castle for Selena. The trials are kind of boring. It is entertaining to have them, but I thought they would be a little bit more intricate, I guess. I wanted to talk about Caltain and Duke Parrington. Duke Parrington is just this old man. I don't know what he does exactly, but he's just like important and he's there. So he gets a champion because all the like people on the king's council or whatever get to have a champion. So he's there. And then he brought this other girl, Caltain, to the castle like a year ago. And she's like, actually, I want to get Dorian to fall in love with me so I can be the queen. But thanks for bringing me to the castle. And we kind of don't like Caltain. Like, she doesn't love Selena. She doesn't like that Dorian and Selena are kind of getting close. I just feel bad for Caltain. Like, she's just trying to survive in a world that was not set up for her. And I swear to God, if she gets assaulted by Duke Parrington or has to marry him, that would also be my villain origin story if I were her. Any wrongdoing she does after that, like, I will excuse it. And then also there's this whole other component of like these fae and gods and stuff. There's this whole info dump section. This is one thing I kind of struggle with Sarah J. Maas's books and writing. Anytime she info dumps, I start highlighting stuff because I know I'm gonna have to go back to it. Yeah, so this chapter starts off, it says, Selena dreamt. She was walking down the long secret passage again. The whole info dumping during the dream, I don't know, I didn't love that personally. And there's all of these word marks, WYRD, but the word marks are these like kind of symbols or something. They don't really know what they mean. They have to do with this old like long lost religion to do with the fae. Okay, I'm just gonna read the info dump so we can all like get caught up. Selena almost cried aloud as she saw them. The pointed arched ears, the ears of the fae, the immortal. But no fae had married into the Haviliard line for 1,000 years, and there had been only one, and she was a half-breed at that. If this were true, if she was fae or half fae, then she was... Selena stumbled back from the woman and slammed into the wall. Then this man was Gavin, the first king of Otterland, and this was Elena, the first princess of Terrasen, Brandon's daughter, and Gavin's wife and queen. I'm like, I had to read that 4 times. Okay. Along the far wall of the chamber sat piles of jewels and weapons. A sword was prominently displayed before a suit of golden armor. She knew that sword. She stepped toward the treasure. It was the legendary sword of Gavin, the sword he had wielded in the fierce wars that had almost ripped apart the continent, the sword that had slain the Dark Lord Erawan. You see we're just getting far too much information in this, like literally in 3 paragraphs. Okay. Even after 1,000 years, it hadn't rusted. Though the magic might have vanished, it seemed that the power that had forged the blade lived on. The maas, she whispered, naming the blade. You know your history, said a light female voice. Who are you? You know who I am, Elena Havillard said. The gargoyles on the clock tower guard the portal between our worlds. We have managed to buy some time, and I was able to slip past. Something evil dwells in this castle, something wicked enough to make the stars quake. Its malice echoes into all worlds. You must stop it. Forget your friendships, forget your debts and oaths. Destroy it before it is too late, before a portal is ripped open so wide that there can be no undoing it. There is no time. You must win this competition and become the king's champion. They must not catch you here. If they do, all will be lost. Wear this. It will protect you from harm. And then Selena's like, but I don't understand. I'm not who you think I am. I'm like, Selena, you are, and you know you are, you know?
Bottom line, are you in or are you out?
What are you talking? In or out of what?
No time for questions, just action. In or out.
Okay, well, then I'm out.
I'm sorry, Jet. Actually, you're already in.
So now, ever since that happened, I feel like Selena has just been like, do they really need me? Like, I don't really want to help. So that's kind of been Selena's vibe. I'm liking it so far. I'm not like addicted. I think it's hard for me to separate the reputation of like this book and this series from my genuine thoughts. I'm gonna finish it up today for sure. And I have just about 100 pages left. I was thinking about going for a walk and trying to read a bunch, but I can't really vlog on my walk, but I still want to do it. So I'll try to film a few clips and then maybe we'll finish up the last couple chapters here. I'm gonna take my Kindle out for a little walk and we're gonna finish this book up today. Saying that in 4 years I'm going to be free and I've never been free in my entire life and I want to know what that feels like. Selena! Also, hi. I know I haven't been updating you. And then Selena telling Kale that she ended it with Dorian. And Kale fought his own smile. I was wondering when you'd come to your senses. My head is empty. I feel like I have no thoughts. You know when you finish a book and you're just like, let me think on that. I like that it didn't really end on a cliffhanger. The ending was Kale saying, do you want me to tell you your first mission? And Selena says, tell me tomorrow. The writing in this, I don't know. We get some like third person POVs from a couple of the different characters throughout the book, but like it gave a better window into like what was going on for different people in the story. Also, justice for Caltaine. I know that poisoning Selena, yeah, that was bad. She shouldn't have done that, but she was being basically controlled and manipulated. Like we really can't hold her accountable. I felt like the twist with like Cain being the one to bring in the evil spirits or whatever, that really did not surprise me. Earlier we saw him like drawing word marks near like the gates or something, and ever since we saw that I knew something was up with Cain, like he was involved in this somehow. And then I also wasn't sure about Princess Nehemia. I always knew I was gonna be on her side, whatever she actually was doing. Even if she was kind of like sabotaging things a bit, I was gonna support her rights and her wrongs. She was really just protecting Selena. I feel like the love triangle with Dorian and Kale, I don't know who I'm supposed to like. It's kind of cute how obsessed Dorian is with Selena. Overall with Throne of Glass, I feel like, I don't know, I was probably slightly underwhelmed. I think I enjoyed the Assassin's Blade just a little bit more. There was just more interesting character work. I do feel good about moving forward with the series. I'm excited to keep reading. I will say I feel like this one was just kind of like, I don't know, not that exciting. I wasn't really that surprised by anything. I'm also trying to make sure I like fully understand the magic and the world building and stuff. Also, Selena has a dog named Fleetfoot now. I do worry Fleetfoot is gonna die some horrible death at some point. As soon as I start loving someone or something in these books that feels like kind of expendable, I'm getting worried. Next up is Crown of Midnight. I don't know if I'll start this one right now, but whenever I start it, we will be back. All right, it's been a couple hours. I ended up writing a little review on Goodreads for Throne of Glass. I'll put that on the screen if you want to read it, but also just follow me on Goodreads. I think I'm gonna go ahead and start Crown of Midnight tonight. I think it'd be nice to just go ahead and jump into the next one. Plus, everyone says that like each book just keeps getting better, so it's just like such a cozy fall weekend night right now, so I'm living for it. I'm gonna put my headphones on. I'm just gonna listen to like some brown noise or something. It just helps me stay focused and start reading. We'll see what Selena's first mission or assignment is as the king's assassin, so. Okay, I've read the first 3 chapters and basically we're setting up this book very similarly to what I expected. We are back in the castle with Selena. The king of Otterland thinks that there are a bunch of rebels like plotting a rebellion against him. He wants Selena to kill all of the rebels. He's just giving one name at a time, one by one, very dramatic. And he's given her the first name, which is Archer. He's like a couple years older than Selena. She knew him when they were younger. I think he like entertains women for money.
She is entertaining men for money.
It turns out we learned from Selena. Selena's been giving the people that she's been sent to kill a choice. She is like about to slit their throat, and then she's like, okay, either you die now or you fake your own death and flee, never use your name again, and give me a bunch of stuff so I can help fake your own death. And all of the people she's been sent to kill, I think it's like 4 so far, have chosen to flee and fake their deaths. Now with Archer, because he's like local, he's pretty notorious, people know what he looks like, it's gonna be a lot harder killing Archer. The thing is like Dorian and Kale have to pretend to be pro-king, and really Selena does too. She can't really risk being like an outright rebel. I feel like Nehemia probably feels a little like on an island. She's one of the only ones who actually like wants to do something, and everyone else is just kind of playing it safe. Oh my god, we're still calling Selena Lillian? He goes, Roland, this is Lillian. She works for my father. I never said that in Throne of Glass, but yeah, she was using a fake name, which like kind of made sense, but I'm like, now it's like everyone does know. Like, what are we doing? Anyway, who is Roland? Okay, Kale is like brooding and introverted and kind of like secretly like sensitive and sweet. Dorian has the banter. Like he's funny, he's sassy, he's witty, he's charming. I feel like I really see the chemistry between Dorian and Selena. They're so similar in their like sass. But at the same time, when you think about like who's compatible, I feel like ultimately Selena needs someone to like balance her out a little bit. To me, Kale seems a little bit more like duty oriented than Sam. Like Sam would break the rules if he needed to, whereas like I don't really feel like Kale would. And so I feel like Selena needs a blend of the two of them. I kind of lean Kale for who I like Selena with, but I love the banter and the chemistry between Selena and Dorian. Do you want me to fight for you? Is that it? No, she said, I just want you to leave me alone. Guys. Selena stared at him unmoving until he silently left. I understand why Selena doesn't think they should be together, and I agree. Like, she's right. Literally, don't mind me. I keep switching back and forth between the Kindle and the physical read. Anyways, Mort is an icon. Like already, I'm obsessed with Mort. So there's a door knocker and it has magic imbued in it. It's alive. And Selena's like, you're alive? And he's like, alive? I'm made of bronze. I don't breathe, nor do I eat or drink. So no, I'm not alive. Nor am I dead for that matter. I simply exist. He goes, you should apologize. You have no idea how loud and tiresome you've been these past few months with all your running down here and slaying foul beasts. I kept quiet until I thought you'd witnessed enough strange things that you could accept my existence. But apparently, I am to be disappointed. I fear we have a new main character. Don't mock me, or I'll peel you off this store and melt you down. Selena, she can fight. He goes, not even the strongest man in the world could peel me from this door. King Brandon himself put me here. Aren't you even gonna knock after all that? You truly have no manners. All right, so plot update. Mort, he said that he had a message for Selena that Elena, the fact that we have Selena and Elena, I kind of wish that we could have had maybe slightly different names here. Anyways, Mort has a message for Selena, and it says this: if I could leave you in peace, I would, but you have lived your life aware that you will never escape certain burdens. Whether you like it or not, you are bound to the fate of this world. As the king's champion, you are now in a position of power, and you can make a difference in the lives of many. Cain and the Ridderek were just the beginning of the threat to Aurelia. There's a far deadlier power poised to devour the world. Selena goes, and I have to find it, I suppose. Selena flirting with Archer in front of Kale is so funny. He goes, you were just a girl when I saw you last. You were gods above. You were 13, I think. And Selena goes, I'm not 13 anymore. Archer gave her a slow, sensual smile as he took her in from head to toe before saying, it would certainly seem that way. Guys, Kale's gonna lose it. Every time Sam gets mentioned in these books, in Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight, my heart shatters like a little bit more. Anyways, Sam mentioned, heartbroken. I'm gonna keep going. We're still going. I just hit page 100 and Selena got poisoned with Gloriella. She like went to some party with Archer. Okay, back up. She told Archer she needed to kill him, and Archer was like, please let me fake my death. And she's like, okay, you can fake your death. I'll give you a month to get all your affairs in order, but then you have to fake your death and go. So he brought Selena along with him to this like masquerade party. Selena went looking for information in this dude Davis's study, and then Davis found her and then tried to kill her with a blade laced with Gloriella. Selena was like, oh crap. And then she ended up killing Davis and then like ran back to the castle. And then right before she got back to the castle, well, when she got back, she went and found Kale. And then she was like, Kale, Gloriella. And then she like passed out. And then the very next chapter, the first line is like, it was the longest night of Kale's life. I'm like, oh my God, this man, they're all so down bad for her. That's the drama that I was gasping at. Oh, the other update. I feel kind of bad for Nehemia. I feel like she hasn't been as much of part of the plot so far in the first 100 pages. And I'm definitely missing her. I feel like she's like way more ready to take action than anyone else is. They're all kind of like just still info gathering. And she's like, guys, can we please do something? And she's been pushing like the King's Court about the conditions in Calicola, which is one of the like death camps. I feel like she's just not making any progress on her cause. Roland's on her case. Like, I'm like, can someone help my girl Nehemia out? But Mort is back, and like, he's a star. He's a star. I'm obsessed with the just like beef that Mort and Selena have with each other. It's so funny. Hello, happy Sunday. It's the next day and I'm still reading Crown of Midnight. I'm on page 196. I got up this morning and went for a little walk, had some screen free time, and listened to some of the audiobook on my walk. I really like the audiobook narrator. She is so great. I'm really enjoying that. I like woke up thinking about the book and wanted to keep making progress, but I also wanted to like exercise and take care of myself today. So I'm trying to think about like what all's happened plot-wise since I last checked in with you. Dorian thinks he has magic, so he is trying to figure out what to do with that. Oh, she also went on a date with Kale for his birthday, and they, you know, which kind of surprised me. I guess I was just surprised that they have seemingly gotten kind of serious kind of fast. Oh, also, she told Kale about the fact that she hasn't killed anyone, and Kale was like, are you crazy? He was like, you're trying to get yourself killed by the king, and the king's gonna make me kill you, which is like literally my worst nightmare. That was one thing from the last book where he hadn't killed anyone before, and he's kind of been hung up in this book a little bit about killing Cain, because that was his first kill. But I'm like, how are you the captain of the King's Guard and you haven't like actually killed anyone? I don't know. And another flashback from Assassin's Blade, Dorian got Kale an Asterian stallion for his birthday, and Selena was like, I had an Asterian stallion once, and they're like, what are you talking about? And it's just fun like already knowing the backstory. I'm enjoying knowing the lore when these little moments come up. I'd say the other plot line is like Nehemia and her influence on Dorian and her trying to not let them expand Calicola, and the king and the Duke of whatever are getting annoyed with Dorian because of Nehemia's ability to influence him. Okay, I'm getting hot. I'm gonna take my sweatshirt off. But I also feel like we haven't gotten back to the plot, the original plot of needing to kill Archer for a while. Like this has been the longest 4 weeks. And I kind of feel like not that much has happened. I feel like plot-wise, these books definitely like meander a little bit. They're definitely still fast-paced, but I wouldn't say the plot is like packed with action all the time. I'm gonna sit here and listen to the end of part 1 while I dry my hair and do my makeup for the day. The rebels have Kale, and they left a ransom note thing for him in Selena's bedroom. Things are happening. A lot going on at the moment. Archer set her up. Like, obviously, this is not surprising. Archer's been working with Nehemia. Okay, I don't know if I saw that. I didn't predict that, but at the same time, like, I understand it. It makes sense. If she's part of your group, then where is she? Ask him. Ask Kale. My sources told me that the king informed you over a week ago of the threat to Nehemia's life. When were you planning on telling anyone about that? And because we wanted you to see what sort of man he really is. Kale says, I knew about the anonymous threat to Nehemia's life, yes, but I was told that she would be questioned by the king, not me. But it's not questioning that they're going to be doing tonight, is it, Captain? Kale didn't answer, and she didn't care why. Where is Nehemia? She heard herself asking. Archer shook his head, his eyes bright with tears. They aren't going to question her, Selena, and by the time my men get there, I think it'll be too late. I've paused the audiobook. I'm locked in. So I don't want to talk about that. We're gonna pretend that didn't happen. Can Selena not get a female friendship that can last more than a book? Please? I'd like some female friendship. I know y'all been waiting on this too. You've been waiting for me to get here, like menaces. This is not funny. I'm not laughing. I don't want to keep going. Before Nehemia died, Selena and Nehemia had this big fight too, which just like, I'm so annoyed that that's like their last conversation. Nehemia called Selena a coward, which Nehemia was right. Selena's being selfish.
What'll it be then? You can go back to your regular life and forget any of this ever happened? Or you can know the truth about the universe. The choice is now yours.
The first one, the high heel.
No. We'll do a redo.
So I'm hoping that that fight that Selena had with Nehemia is gonna like light a fire under Selena, because it's time for Selena to step up. Listen, I'm sure this is the first of many goodbyes. The thing is though, like in ACOTAR, not to spoil ACOTAR, but I'm gonna put a red frame on the screen for a mild ACOTAR spoilers. If you wanna skip, you can skip through this. But in ACOTAR, at least like the first 3 books, I feel like someone should have died. Like someone important from the core group should have died. Like it's just not realistic for everyone to make it out. And I know Reese like died and then was brought back or whatever. That doesn't count. I think we should have lost someone. And I'm not saying I wanted to lose someone, but I think we should have lost someone. And I guess you could say that like Farah's dad was the one, but like, we all thought he was useless the whole time anyway. Anyways, ACOTAR ran over, but my thing here is like, some people are gonna have to die. And honestly, as painful as it is a consequence of war. While it's not fun, I feel like it makes the story more complex too. Part 2, let's do it. Ready to be heard again. After Nehemia was murdered, Selena made it her mission to figure out who did this and why. And she's really, really pissed at Cale because he didn't tell her that there had been a threat on her life, and you really can't come back from that, you know? So we're all kind of pissed off at Cale, myself included. Also, I do find it concerning that Nehemia, I'm pretty sure she's like been our only character of color to my knowledge. I do find it concerning that like she's the one we've killed off right away. I don't really have much more to unpack than that, but just like, right. Okay, you know what I mean? Also, there is like an uprising going on at Calaculla. We got like this one chapter from the slave girl, and when they heard that Nehemia got murdered, she's like, all right, well, I'm gonna kill everyone now. So I'm waiting for more information on that because we just got like one chapter on that. Yeah, anyway, we figured out who killed Nehemia. Selena's just kind of like in her feels. Cale's dad gets invited to the castle for something, I don't know, some state dinner, something, I don't know. Cale like won't change his bed sheets because they still smell like Selena, and immediately Selena was like, please change my sheets, like I've got to get rid of him. So then in Selena's depression, of course, she's like going over to Nehemia's room, she's going through some of her stuff, she's like, oh, I miss my bestie, and then she sees the book that she stole, was it Davis, is that his name? And it had the hint of like the eye is always right. So Selena goes back to like Mort and like the crypt kind of room where Elena's casket is, I guess. And she gets the sword that I forget. There's so many names, you guys. I can't produce these names. Trust me, I know it when I see it. Anyways, the sword has a name. But basically she realizes that there's like an eye on the sword, and she holds it up to this like eye on the wall, and she looks through it and she sees this like poem. So she writes it down, and Mort is basically like, yeah, seems like it's this like riddle about like 3 important things. And that's kind of where we are now. So I've got about 120 pages left now, and everyone says the last 100 pages of this one is where it gets kind of crazy. So I thought we would lock in and just finish up this book tonight. So Selena has now gone to the witch to get her to help her with the riddle. Y'all need to stay the F away from the witch. Like, this is never gonna end well. Why are we going back to the witch? I would have sat for a full day and bullied Mort for more information before going to the witch. We are getting some tea. Selena asks, what sort of objects does this riddle describe? And the witch says, word keys. It describes the 3 word keys to open the word gate, whatever that means. We're probably gonna... I feel like this is a plot device for info dumping once again. Tell me what they are, the word keys, the word gate. Nameless is my price. All right, here we go with the info dumping. The word governs and forms the foundation of this world. There are worlds that exist beyond your knowledge, worlds that lie on top of each other and don't know it. Right now, you could be standing on the bottom of someone else's ocean. The word keeps these realms apart. There are gates, black areas in the word that allow for life to pass between the worlds, the realms. Like, what's the difference between a world and a realm? Okay, let's read this again. In Wendelin, they fought against the Fae. Like, okay. I get overwhelmed. Could not do it. I have to read this like 3 times. Is this just me? Long ago, before humans overran this miserable world, a different sort of evil broke through the gates, the Valg. Then the Fae learned that the Valg had done something unforgivable. They had taken a piece of a word gate with their dark magic and split it into 3 slivers, 3 keys. Like, what? Stand by, guys. I'm figuring this out. Okay, after reading it about 3 times, I definitely understand now. Basically, we think the king has one of the word keys. If you get all 3 word keys, you basically can like unleash demons into the realm and you have all this power. But even just having 1 word key gives you a ton of power. But if you have all 3, you can open the word door, the word gate, that's what it is, and like go between realms, I guess. And we can't let him get all 3. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna keep reading now that we have all this info. Okay, so the witch is trying to kill her. Should have seen this coming. I never trusted this witch for a minute, especially given the backstory from Assassin's Blade. Like, we know how scary and bad these witches are. I'm sure Selena will get out of this, as she always does. Not Mort basically telling Selena that she just incited like a war and that the witches are all going to come after her now because the witch she killed is like the matron of her clan. Can't wait for that to happen. I'm sure we'll come back to that. Okay, so unfortunately we have confirmed that the king has the first word key. I'm obsessed with like how present Mort has been throughout this whole book. I kind of was thinking we were just gonna get like glimpses of Mort here and there, but I feel like he shows up like every couple chapters. I like when Mort just like gives us little crumbs. I like it a lot more than the info dumping. And we're getting some good crumbs from Mort right now. Mort forever, protect him at all costs. Okay, update. So we think he has 2 word keys. Okay, backing up. When Dorian talked to the witch before, he was like, why do I have magic, basically? Which that was so stupid of him to like maybe let the witch know he has magic. But anyways, I digress. He was like, why could a person hypothetically have magic? And she's like, well, there is no magic. It was all eradicated. Someone wouldn't just have magic. But if you want to understand why there might be magic in something, you need to first think about what took it away. And then you could understand the loophole. And now what we're learning is that the king has used probably his likely 2 word keys, because he probably can't have this much power with just 1. So with his 2, he basically used the word keys to stifle magic, all magic but his own, and by extension, Dorian's. So that's why Dorian has magic, and that makes a lot of sense because based on what the witch said, think about like the limitations and then the exceptions. And so Dorian's an exception, and I think the king doesn't realize that, which is very exciting. But it also confirms that we think that the king likely has 2 word keys, because you can't like stifle all magic. Like that's a lot of power. So now Selena is stressed because she's like, what am I supposed to do? Just go find the 3rd one, steal the 2? Like this is dire. Okay, so now Selena's like, oh my god, I need to talk to my dead bestie Nehemia. And Cain was able to summon the Ridderak from another portal. So like, why don't I just go open a portal to another realm, basically the underrealm where all the dead people are, so I can talk to my dead bestie Nehemia and get her advice. And I'm just like, Selena, what is the plan here? Are you gonna accidentally let in a bunch of dead people into your realm? Like literally nothing good could come of this. Like why would you? Anyway, okay. And then Mort goes, whatever you're thinking, whatever you're going to do right now, stop it. Yeah, Mort, get behind me because we're on the same team. She's like, Mort didn't understand. He couldn't understand. I'm like, I think he does. And I think you should listen to him. Listen to your elders. Why is Archer here? Okay, if she had thought she'd known fear and pain before, it was nothing compared to what went through her when Kale ran through the portal after Fleetfoot. You're joking. Selena jumps out of Dorian's arms and then sprints after both of them through the portal. She was through it in a heartbeat. Oh, great. The moment she burst through the portal, something changed. It was like a fog vanished from her face, her features sharpening, and then her ears. Her ears shifted into delicate points. What? Selena is Fae? Guys, what? I might need to take a break. Turns page. If she's Fae, like, why did she spend a year in Dovier? You know what I mean? Like, how is she not able to get out of that? If Fae, why fill in the blank? If Fae, why stupid enough to open this portal? Kale.
No. Well.
Kale and Selena just had a heart-to-heart where she's like, listen, I'm sorry that I thought it was you, but at the same time, I can never trust you again in terms of like all of the Nehemia stuff. So he goes, whatever sort of hope he'd had for a future with her was gone. She would always hate him for what he'd done, but he could do this for her. Even if he never saw her again, even if she'd abandoned her duties as the king's champion and stayed with the Fae. I'm not really understanding this whole Wendlin thing. I'm hoping this is going to become more clear. As long as he knew that she was safe, that no one could hurt her, he'd sell his soul again and again for that. Consider it done. Wow. This whole getting the king's POV at the end of all of the books where he like divulges all of his plans is an interesting strategy. I'm like, wait, I kind of like don't want to know all this from the king. I'd rather be surprised. He'd been breeding new mounts for gathering armies, and his wyverns still needed riders. Huh? Let's get through. I have like 2 chapters left. Wait. Okay. Remember I was like, there's some word mark on Selena's forehead that like glows or whatever. We're now getting the information. Again, like info dumped here at the end. The word mark was impossible to decipher. It either meant nameless or unnamed. The witch literally said the nameless thing. Her price was nameless or something akin to anonymous, but God's blessed or not, from the wicked grin on her face, the king knew she'd enjoy this task. We're just like, okay. Let me get through it. Okay, so Kale's come to see Selena off on her ship, and she literally is info dumping on him in the last like 3 minutes before the ship leaves. And she's telling him all about the word keys and the word gate. And she's like, Kale, you don't understand. Like, I'm gonna have to come back because we have to save the world, basically. And then she did the most reckless thing she'd ever done in her life. She stood on her toes and whispered the words into his ear. The words that would make him understand why it was so important to her and what it meant when she said she would return. And he would hate her forever for it once he understood. Not the I love you from Kale. Oh my god. The drama from Kale also, like, it's so funny. Selena was the lost queen of Terrasen. Kale sank to his knees. Like, the drama.
Okay, we are cooked. Yep, we are absolutely cooked, chat. GG.
Wow, that was a lot to take in. Let me process. Honestly, I'm not that surprised about the whole Selena being Aelin thing. Her being Fae surprised me a lot more than her being Aelin Galathinius. So those are my initial reactions to the ending. Also, the way the king is like raising wyverns. I'm just like, oh gosh, help us all. Okay, I'm gonna sit here and debrief to myself on Crown of Midnight. I need to like reflect. All right, so it is in fact the next morning. You know, I just felt like I needed to sleep on it. Crown of Midnight, let's talk about it. My final rating for this one was a 4.25, which is the same thing as what I rated The Assassin's Blade. I think ultimately The Assassin's Blade is my favorite out of these three, but it's just by like a hair that I like it just a hair more than Crown of Midnight. I feel like Crown of Midnight is just like a continuation of Throne of Glass, but everything gets better and more layered and deeper. You've got kind of the same setting, the same kind of characters, the same kind of writing, but everything thickens. The plot thickens, the character development deepens, and I just found all of that to be really satisfying, but it did still feel kind of like a setup book. I feel like the turning point in this book was really when Nehemia was assassinated. I feel like that changed everything. I still think that Nehemia knew she was gonna get assassinated. Like, I'm still curious about that whole conversation that she had with Queen Elena in that one chapter. That chapter felt so random to me that I just feel like it's gonna have to come back around. I feel like when I started reading Crown of Midnight, I very much so felt like it was a continuation of Throne of Glass. But then I feel like by the end of Crown of Midnight, things were really like speeding up and getting more interesting, and kind of that like last 100 pages of a Sarah J. Maas book kind of syndrome. This one definitely had that a lot more, I felt like, than either of the other books. I'm thinking about all of the characters. I feel like Selena is definitely still my favorite. She's very like anti-hero coded. She's very selfish throughout the book at many moments, but she also is very brave. I'm really hoping as we head into Heir of Fire, though, we do see a little bit more maturity from her. I think she can be a little bit frustrating, but I am letting it slide because she's like 19, I think. And I'm also really excited for Heir of Fire for just a new location. I think a new setting is gonna really help break up the series a bit. Talking about some of the other characters, we also have Kale. I feel like he is really complex and really layered, and I'm enjoying kind of getting to know him more in every book. I feel like he got a little more tortured, a little more layered in this book, and I wouldn't say that I'm like always rooting for him. I don't think he's as predictable as some of the other characters, and that's what I think makes him interesting. When it comes to Dorian, ultimately, I'm rooting for Dorian. I really just want like a little bit more from Dorian. I definitely think he's like on the cusp of really being this like explosive character that I'm obsessed with, and I'm just like kind of waiting on that, I feel like. Overall, I'm really curious about the whole Fae component here, and like Selena being Fae and what that means, and just everything that I think she's gonna unlock and discover in Wendelin. I can't wait to get to that and just to understand the world even deeper. The whole thing with Archer surprised me. The whole thing with Selena being Fae really surprised me. Selena being Aelin didn't surprise me that much, though, I will say. I definitely feel like I feel more invested now in the series as a whole. I still do feel like this is definitely a bit of a setup book, and it's like launching us into the rest of the series. I've had so much fun in this vlog, so I'm excited to continue those. I'm gonna do, I think, 3 different videos for the Throne of Glass series. This is video 1. I will link down below the other videos once they're out, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I'm a little hesitant with the spoiler vlog because I know, like, obviously not everyone's read these, but so many of you have that I just think it's fun to do a spoiler vlog every now and then. I just think it's fun to just speak candidly and unfiltered. I feel like I never get to talk so freely and candidly about things that are actually happening in the books that I'm reading, so this has been really fun for me, and I hope it has been fun for you guys too. Part of the reason I wanted to read all 3 of these in one vlog together so I could kind of talk about what I think about the reading order stuff, and I guess I can talk about it more at the very end of these vlogs too, once I've read the whole series, what I think. But I do think now that I've read these 3, I can kind of weigh in on my thoughts. I was honestly feeling pretty conflicted about what to do because I feel like I'd heard from both sides of the community, and people ride hard for their preference. And I'm very sorry to my people who say to read Assassin's Blade 3rd or 4th, but I will say personally, my recommendation is to read it first. I really enjoyed reading it first, but here's what I would say about it all. I think that if you're someone who likes character-driven stories, you should start with The Assassin's Blade. I think if you're someone who likes plot-driven stories, you should start with Throne of Glass. And that is honestly my genuine recommendation. And myself, as a character-driven girly, would take that recommendation and start with Assassin's Blade. I think for me personally, first of all, Assassin's Blade was my favorite. So it really set me on this high that allowed me to kind of get through these setup books with more excitement. It just to me was so much more meaningful. I cared so much more. So that's my recommendation. But I think if you're someone who loves a fast-paced plot-driven story, jumping into the thick of the plot in Throne of Glass and reading the 2 setup books with Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight, and then going back and getting Celaena's backstory, like that's also an option. But truthfully, with the way Crown of Midnight ended with Celaena going on this ship over to Wendlyn, like I can't imagine having to go back and read all of these short stories about Celaena before getting to come back to this like main plot line and continue the story. Like I'm so glad I can just dive into Heir of Fire next. I respect everyone's different opinion and different choice, and I hope you guys can respect mine too. I think for me personally, I made the right call for me, but the right thing for me may not be the right thing for you, and that's okay. But also, me saying all this in a spoiler vlog, you've probably already read them all, so there is that. I guess I'm curious what you guys think if you read it first or third, like if you would change it, if you feel like you did it right. My friend Chloe, she read it fourth, and she's like, honestly, I kind of wish I read it first. Anyways, keep it respectful in the comments, please, but I'd be curious to hear everyone's thoughts on it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope maybe you were like reliving your first time reading this series with me while watching. And if you made it this far in the video, comment down below with the castle emoji so I can know who made it all the way to the end. I'm sure this is going to be a long vlog. I'm going to go recover from the ending of Crown of Midnight. I think that's all I've got for you guys today. I will see you super soon in another video. Bye, everyone.